All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of The Rational Investor. This is Julian here, doing your show from Bangkok, Thailand, with my what has been called my Death Star setup, but in fact is just a window that is reflecting essentially my screen. It looks kind of cool. It like wraps around. You can see it. But yeah, a lot's happened obviously in this week in crypto. I know Brian's touched on it. I've got to touch on it too. Bitcoin took a big nosedive. Everybody's questioning what's going to happen next. We're going to go over that in this show. We're going to talk about what's happening in the S&P. Although compared to crypto, I think everyone would agree that S&P is kind of like a big snooze fest a little bit. It's just kind of like it's just doing this. So I mean, look at this. Look at my screen here. So this is the S&P right on the weekly chart like this. Occasionally we get these little like dips. This is nothing. And let's look at like Bitcoin, for example, on a weekly chart. Like, what the hell? Look at that move. Although looking on this weekly chart, it doesn't look like there's the weekly candle for Bitcoin. And then there's the weekly candle that was scary for stocks. It's not that different. But there are some big differences, and we're going to get into that in the show. We'll do my normal run through S&P 500, a couple of random meme stocks that I like to talk about, and then any other stocks you guys want to talk about. And then we're going to go into US dollar. We'll talk about gold. We'll talk about, maybe I'll touch on the Thai baht just for fun because I haven't looked at it in a while. Let's see how many massages I can buy right now. And which, by the way, foot massages are open in Thailand. So, and yet I haven't gone. I've been too busy. School signups this week. I am kind of master and commander of the whole thing, for better or worse. So this week is always extremely stressful. Luckily, I don't know if anybody's noticed, we have our TRI support. She is great and helps me a lot. So if she's watching, thank you so much. And so that this is my first time with her helping. So hopefully I will at least get some sleep. I don't usually sleep during the school marketing week because we get so many support emails and there's a lot of manual adjustments. Because I always put you guys first. We always put you guys are our customers. Brian always says you are TRI, and we always put you guys first. So I kind of there are times when people make requests, and I think most companies would just say no because it makes their life harder. But most of the time I just say yes, and I just try my best to accommodate because I know everybody has different kinds of situations and things that come up. And I'm a person too, and I've had things come up. So I understand and I try to make adjustments, but it does make a lot of extra work when you have to manually move hundreds of people around. Normally it's not hundreds, it's maybe like 50 people that want some kind of manual change. But yeah, so that's what's happening there. David's sending out the marketing emails. If you're getting them, hopefully you enjoy them. I know even they're a marketing email to try to, hopefully get people to sign up for the school so we can help you. But at the same time, even though I don't need to sign up for the school. I love reading his emails. So hopefully everybody's enjoying David's emails. All right. Let's see. We're going to, first of all, this is interesting. Is it better if it's like this with my like white screen on my face, or is it better if it's like darker? What do you guys think? Any opinions? I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's talk about the S&P. And then we'll go through the different charts. It's already 11:10, so we've got about 15 minutes here. Okay. Here's your MACD, slowly increasing. Stochastic, super bullish on the weekly chart. RSI, nothing's changed. It's just like that. You can tell we tagged our 3.59 level, and we're still gunning for 4.669. Okay, that's the target. We're not far away. How much of a percent move is left? Let's see. We got to my target. It's literally it's 2%. It's like a 1 hour move in crypto. One point is like 1 point. Where are we exactly? Right here. Okay, it's 2%. Yeah, 2%. 1 hour move for Bitcoin. Although if we're talking about the other day, the 1 hour move for Bitcoin was like 20%. We'll get to that. So that's S&P. I don't know really what else to say about that. I mean, it's bullish. Buy on the pullbacks, right? Here's your pullback. Buy, and then sell here. Okay, look here. Buy, and you could sell on the 9, or you could sell here. if you would have bought every single one of these pullbacks, you would be up massively. Let's say you bought like this third pullback, because maybe the first two you got scared, and then by the third one you're like, okay, it's a pattern. Not a bad idea to do a buy here. Small stop loss right at this level. You can see some people did that. That's why they ran the stops down. So you always have to be careful with that. And then you make your target here. It's a decent 8% return. Not bad. And if you use a little bit of leverage or something, it's probably a lot more. Or an option. Options always work too, right? Just make sure your time horizon is far enough out. Always buy. Brian always says buy 6 months of time. I agree with that. I think that's pretty safe to do 6 months of time. If you do 1 or 2 months, you're just asking for trouble. Don't recommend it. I don't even personally trade options myself anymore. I prefer to use a little bit of leverage or just spot, especially with crypto. Crypto is extremely dangerous, as you are probably well aware of, anyone that's been around for more than a year. Okay, so that's S&P. What do I always like to talk about? What do you guys want first? We've got GameStop, AMC, Tesla, meme stock, all the meme stocks. Anyone? Are there people on YouTube? Chris, can you let me know if anyone on YouTube asks any questions or says anything? By the way, thank you. Okay. All right. So I'll do GME. Start there. Oh, that kind of fell off a cliff a little bit. Let's do it weekly first. So weekly is bearish. It's not a surprise that now the daily is breaking down. Weekly was bearish. We came up and we tagged. Let's reverse this. Reverse. Okay. We came up and tagged 61.8 area. And then we came back down and we tagged 0.5 and just bounced. Isn't it cool how like this kind of stuff just ping pongs between these different fib levels? Look at it, came down to this 38.2, went back up to the 50%, ping pongs, and then we went all the way up to this 88.6, a little bit over to the 1, came back down. And we just kind of ping pong between these levels. If you just buy at the lower levels and sell at the higher levels, it's not that hard to make a profit. I found sometimes that using just fibs and just use fibs and then know the trend direction. If you can get the trend direction right, the next thing is just, the fibs, which is location, right? So we have momentum, which is kind of your trend direction, right? And then you have location, which are fibs. And then structure. Structure is the third one for extra safety. So location, structure, momentum, go, right? GME is bouncing back. Let's look at the daily quickly. I don't like how this chart looks. At least we're holding this support level here on RSI. But if this breaks down, this is not good. We're filling the gap here from this morning. Something happened. Oh, earnings came out. Okay. So that's why this happened. It's earnings. So a gap down on earnings. Now we're bouncing back. If we hold this support line and considering, again, I always talk about this. There's a reason I look at the S&P 500. S&P 500 is kind of like looking at Bitcoin or the total crypto index. First, you should always look at those because that gives you a big picture. So if the S&P to me is saying, look, we're going higher still, don't worry, then that allows me to have I will then come into the market, regular stock names with a bullish bias. Meanwhile, if the S&P 500 or something like that, some index looks like crap, then I've got to come in with a bearish bias. It's just, that's the way it has to be. Okay, so this looks good. I'm going to hold on to my GME. I have a GME position from down here, so I'm just going to hold on to that. Let's look at AMC. I also have an AMC position. AMC position was in nice profits. Yeah, AMC is all the way up here. So we bought AMC back here, right, at like 35 something, all the way down here. And now we're sitting up here at 48. Nice profits. We're still holding on to this. Why is this line yellow? Let's change this. That's annoying. The hell. All right. It's our light blue line. We are still in a solid uptrend here. Again, S&P 500 intact. AMC MACD green, stochastic looking good. RSI also looking good. They're all saying full steam ahead, keep going higher. We're just running into the 61.8 level. Let me reverse this. I know it says 38.2. Let's change it. There we go, like that. We're just running into this huge resistance. But as long as these trend lines, this momentum is intact on the daily chart, I don't see any reason why we can't move higher. And you can see we keep bouncing off this, I think it's an EMA 8 EMA, touch, 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 bounce. Those are kind of nice pullback entry points. If I was trading this more actively, I would probably take profits at the top of this fib and then buy back at the 50% or even these like EMA 8 tags and then sell again on the fib tag. But I don't like trading that actively anymore. I like just buying a position on a signal on the daily with, Brian even said that he liked this trade once we came on the other side of the trend line because that gave you your structure and your confirmation. And then you just hold to your target. And our target, right? If we go like this and we do this, my target, let's make it a little bit more conservative here. My target is up here at about $63. Between $60 and $63, I would say, is my target. So that's where I'll start letting go. That's kind of why I have this alert on 60. That's a bit more conservative. We're gonna put one on 58 too. I always like to be a little bit more conservative. There's a lot of resistance up here too. So of course it's going to stop. I mean, look at all this resistance we have. Okay, so that's AMC. Were there any other questions? Tesla, yeah. Oh, Min. Okay, yes, Tesla. I have a long position on Tesla too, and it's looking good. Look at this. Look at this. I haven't looked at Tesla. I wonder how much I'm up on my long position. I haven't looked at Tesla in forever. The best trades I've had are when I take a trade off a daily signal. I set my target and then I just forget about it. And then I remember like 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh, my target was hit. Awesome. I made money. That is the best. And that tells you that paying too close of attention to your trades actually screws you. And that's why we always recommend to trade your plan and plan your trade before you even take the trade. And then what I just said is trade your plan and plan your trade. So plan your trade before you even take the trade. And then take the trade and just let it follow your plan. Okay, you should have a stop loss and a profit target before you even enter the trade. And I'm saying that from someone who for years didn't listen to that and learned through multiple thousands of dollars of losses that's what I yeah, Colleen, exactly. Take profit and stop loss. You want to do both of those things before, plan that before you even take the trade. Let's see, my Tesla trade. Okay, I am up. We broke out here. Okay, I'm up about 9%, 8 or 9% on my Tesla trade. On my AMC trade, I'm up 30%. 30% on AMC. That's pretty nice. Woohoo. Like that. Okay. It usually depends on the structure, Colleen. I usually go a little bit below the lowest low. I try to set very tight stops, as you know. So normally I go below the lowest low. It really depends. Like if I took my trade on Tesla, like right here on this breakout, I would set my stop below this point right here. All of these lows. My stop would be like this. So my trade would be something like this. Probably entry heap. Oops. Along here. Stop would be below the lows here. Like that. If that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, it's a tight stop. I set tight stops because I don't like losses, and I found that I'd rather get stopped out of a trade and miss it than lose a lot. And sometimes I get chopped up and I just give up, and then the trade takes off anyway. But every time I haven't set a stop and I've just taken the trade, or I've set a stop that's like too large, I usually ended up regretting it when the trade went against me, which has happened plenty of times. So that's why I like to set tighter stops. Okay. So this chart is not as clean as I would like, but here's kind of your breakout like that on the RSI. There's your breakout right there. And you can see stochastic also went green, MACD went green. And this is kind of the entry point. I mean, this was the real breakout of this candle. And then this is your confirmation up here. And we hit an 8 and 9, which caused a pause, but there's so much momentum that it makes sense that it just went higher. you can see I drew my chaos level here off this kind of W right down here. And this was and here's our 4.669. You can see we basically tried to tag it a couple times. I'm going to adjust this a little bit. We tagged it, and now we're breaking through. Okay, and so my next target is at 850. And I don't see why that can't be hit. That's what I'm thinking for this one. It looks extremely bullish. Let's look at a 4 hour just to see. Yeah, for me, full steam ahead. I don't see any pullbacks here. This looks good. I mean, there is a gap down here that's a little bit concerning, but there's nothing. There's a little bit of a divergence. There's a bit of a divergence on the MACD, but I wouldn't be too concerned until we start going red there. So we also have this trend line, this long-term trend line. This will provide resistance too. So 790 is another resistance level. But so far, so good. I like that my background is green. That means, okay, you're green lit to go higher. So yeah, that's Tesla. I mean, I'll set an alert. Like, I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna set an alert if this starts breaking down. That seems to provide some of the best signals for me. If my RSI starts to break down, at least on stocks on the 4 hour. On crypto, the time frames you have to totally change. Like I like to do 8 hour to 12 hour. RSI, okay, great, okay. And let's go to yeah, clean. Sometimes it depends. I check if it just like stop me out and then bounce back and everything's still intact, then I will hunt another trade in that same thing. I'll just be like, okay, I got stopped, and I'll keep hunting. But if it breaks down, then I'm not going to take another trade on it. I'll just let it go and I'll look for something else. Because I found focusing on the same thing, that screws you so bad, because you're always looking for a way to like get in. Meanwhile, if you don't care and you just move on to something else, then you just look for the next best setup. And Brian says the same thing. That's why we're so big on these screeners, because it's easier to just use the screener to scan for other opportunities than try to like get an opportunity to fit with your plan in one specific name. And you can actually apply that to a lot of things in life. I feel like I'm not going to get into it, but I think it makes sense. So yeah, NSPR and SGLB. Okay, let's look at those quickly. Actually, there's a lot of things in trading that you can apply to like normal everyday life. Like a big thing for me is fitness and working out. You got to be consistent every day, and you need to stick to like a pretty strict plan if you want to be successful with like going to the gym, being healthy, those type of things. It's the same for trading. And I have a trainer here. Actually, half the reason I moved to this new place is because I have a trainer about 4 minutes away. And my issue in the past with yoga, actually tomorrow is deadlift day. So we're going to focus on deadlift. My issue in the past is I always tried to like increase the weight too fast. And I love stuff like this because I realized after working with this guy and him telling me like, look, the reason you always got hurt in the past, and because I always would get injuries and things like that. He's like, look, you always got injuries because you were pushing your body too quickly. You were moving up in weight too fast. You were impatient. And also you were doing some of these exercises wrong because you never had anyone to train you. And that's true. I never had anyone to really train and help me. I would just like look at YouTube videos and stuff, but that's totally different than having a real trainer. By the way, if you ever want to get a trainer, make sure that person, one, isn't using steroids, okay? Because that's just a cheat code. And two, has been training for a long time and knows the proper movements, okay? Actually, you want someone who's been injured and then they figured out a way to fix the injury so that it doesn't happen again and why they were injured, okay? Because it's really important. Yeah, exactly, Clean. So here's the, well, I wouldn't even work. I don't care about certified personally, because I think I feel the same about like college degrees. I think it's just nonsense. Sometimes there's plenty of people out there without college degrees that are way better workers than people with one. So I don't know about certified because in the US, I had certified trainers I worked with, physiotherapists, these type of people, and none of them were as good as this guy. Okay, and this guy isn't certified in anything. This guy was a CEO of 2 different companies that he ended up being bought out of, and now he's like a multimillionaire, and he just does this for fun. But I've learned more from this guy than I did from any trainer and any physiotherapist in my entire life. And he just does it because he loves it. He doesn't. I mean, he just likes doing it. And I don't think he would have anything else to do because he just, he's retired. But my point is that there are a lot of things in life you can apply to trading. It's all the same thing. So for training in the gym, for example, for doing deadlifts and squats, if you don't have the proper form, and if you don't have your smaller muscle groups prepared, when you go to do those bigger weights, you're going to get injured. The same thing applies to trading. If you don't have a trading plan, which is the equivalent of having proper form in lifting, and if you try to increase your trading size too quickly relative to your skill level and ability to handle that, you're going to get burnt. And I think you can apply this to a million different things. So if the reason I talk about this, if you're struggling with anything, and I want to talk about this because of what happened with Bitcoin, and maybe I should have talked about it when I went to Bitcoin, but whatever. If you're struggling with anything in trading, or you recently got liquidated, maybe take a step back and then question like what is going on, and are there other areas of my life where I also struggle? And for me, I'm like the perfect example of massive failure, because I always do everything too fast, and I don't do it with enough of a plan. Even in trading now, I have a plan, but it's not perfect, and I need to flesh it out more. And I'm working on that. After this school term is started and things have kind of calmed down, I've got to sit down and I'm going to write out my plan again. I have one from before, but it's not the way I need it to be. And I also sometimes need to scale back the size I'm using, because I'm trying to move too quickly, too fast. And doing this training with this guy taught me that. And I'm like, wow, everything in my life can kind of apply to all this stuff and what is happening with trading. So just a little rant about kind of be careful. Don't go too fast. Look at the rest of your life. Okay, if the rest of your life is not organized and you're always trying to move too fast and you find like you blow up sometimes, maybe you got to solve that stuff first before you can be a successful trader. Okay, I mean, it's a pyramid, right? And if one part of the pyramid is not working, everything else is going to kind of crumple in on itself. So my grandpa always said like mind, body, and spirit. So those three, and spirit can be whatever you want. It kind of just to me speaks like, okay, you're emotionally stable. That's the way I kind of see it. Other people might see it as, okay, you have God or whoever, whatever religion you prescribe to. And then the next one is mind. Make sure like your mind is sharp, you're thinking clearly, those type of things. And the last one is body. Physically, you are healthy. It's very important to be physically healthy. And I think Brian even talks about like he's moving somewhere else and hopefully he's going to be working out and getting in better shape. And I hope he does that. I think it's super important. I've been pushing him forever to do it. So hopefully he does. Yeah, exactly. And if you can't do it on your own, you hire someone to help you. Like, so for me, I never believed in hiring anyone, but I truly, seriously believe that if you have the time and the money, you should hire a trainer for fitness, or at least go to like group classes of some kind, because then you have a schedule and it will force you to do it. Same thing with taking the course at TRI. You pay for the course and then you are forced to go and do it. You have to do it. And there's a reason we run it the way we do, like a college course, because you're expected each week to work on something and to finish that final exam if you want to continue. Okay, it's totally up to you. All right. NSPR. Rant finished. No more rants from Julian. Oh God. NSPR. Let's see. Okay. It looks like we're just touching the bottom of this trend line and bouncing a little bit. It doesn't look the best. Let's go to a daily. Daily looks a lot better. I mean, like kind of like this is what I'm seeing. You know, you've got a nice uptrend intact. We had a little bit of a pullback. It looks like it wants to move higher. Honestly, I mean. And this would be my target, like this, $7. Maybe we come up to fill this gap. Nice gap created in April. You could get a nice 100%, nearly 100% move on this. Yeah, I like this. Everything looks pretty good. Stochastic's pulling back a bit, but with the RSI looking the way it is, and you just had your 8-9 pullback with this W that was confirmed, and you're basically just pulling back to the upside of that W. I mean, this is a perfect entry. I might even want to buy this myself. Yeah, this looks good to me. I like this. Oh, good. Inspire MD. Okay, interesting. Thank you, Min. And what was the other name? SGLB. SGLB. Sigma Labs. There you go. Okay, Sigma Labs for me has a bit of a breakdown. This is still bullish because we're up here almost in the green zone. Stochastic is still bullish. MACD is bullish, but I don't like the breakdown on the RSI. I think we could get a further pullback. I would wait on this name. I would be. Let me see something. Yeah, and you can see how we broke down here. I would wait to see how this candle here closes, and then decide. But it looks like it could start breaking down. I would be very careful with this one. This is a no for me. I like the other one a lot better. Okay, let's look at DXY. Look at that. This reversal. Let's go to the weekly chart. I'm gonna take a drink of some water. It's just water, actually. It says like tea, but it's water. Okay. I wonder how much like the microphone picks that up. Okay. We got like this. Keep in mind this is a weekly chart, okay? Also, I want to adjust this to go like that. There we go. All the way to the bottom here. Yeah, that looks better. We came down to 61.8 level. And you can see we've got divergence on MACD here. Right, like that. This. No price was like this, right? And we broke down from this uptrend line on the weekly. We came and tested it, and now we reversed back down. RSI, I can't really tell much from this weekly, but I think if we go to a monthly, and I'm going to turn off my little background thing here. Let's turn that off. Yeah, so here's like your monthly downtrend line. See that? Yeah, I needed to see a breakout for this to be really bullish. I needed to see a breakout, and I need to see this MACD go green, and none of that's happened yet. So I can't get like too extremely bullish at all on this. It looks to me like it's starting to break down, but it is stochastic. RSI is breaking down. MACD has divergence. RSI is not so clear. I'm not clear on this. Maybe I'll go to the daily chart. And we hit a 9, bounced up to 78.6. And then, yeah, see this trend line, guys? The interesting thing is you can draw it like this, and there's your support trend line. Or some people probably drew it like this, and there's like your resistance on the other side. But I think this is a better way to draw it like this, because then it matches up with this down here. You always want to match up with the ones down here, and that is the better trend line, because then you could have drawn it before this action actually happened, and you would have known, okay, there's a major support trend line here. I have to be careful. Okay, there's RSI like that. That's your initial breakdown. Maybe there's something like this. Here's your MACD. This. It's kind of in no man's land for me right now. I can't say either way where it's going to go. On the weekly, it looks like we're leaning slightly bearish, but no real breakdown yet. It just looks like it's getting ready. So I can't say much on this. I think it's still trying to figure out what it wants to do. But for right now, it looks like we're kind of just in a stalemate. And you can see with the weekly, when the weekly is sitting around this VIP, it means not a lot is going to happen. You can see the daily also around this VIP area. And as long as we're like in that zone, price is kind of just gonna do this and oscillate, not really create any big moves until we move a significant amount on one side or the other. Okay, let's look at gold. Wow, it's 11:35 already. Okay, gold. Gold. Oh my God, I drew way too much stuff on this chart. Holy crap. So you can see, let's go to the weekly first. Gold is doing the same thing as DXY. It's just kind of like flatlined, right? It's just running, gold is just running stops on both sides. That's what I feel like. And it's not there. It's very difficult to trade right now. Let me see. I hate all these lines. Sorry, guys. Let me delete all these. We'll redraw them quickly. This, like that, and then we're like this. All right, something like that, or even this. Okay, and then MACD is kind of flatlined, and price is currently pulling back from this. See, this was my major zone. This is a major resistance support zone. So you see how we kept coming back and tagging this and getting rejected? So again, we came up and tagged it and got rejected. That's not really a big surprise here. Let's move our fibs to here. Yeah, and you see also that's your 61.8 of this range. I can even go to this like low point here. 61.8 of the whole range. So it makes sense that we keep getting rejected from there. See how it bounces in between 61.8 and 0.5. And even goes down to 38.2 sometimes, except for this one big like scam candle. But you know, these fibs are great for levels. Just keep that in mind. Let's go to the daily, and hopefully it looks a little bit less confusing. And you can see all these channels that I've drawn in the past. I know it makes the chart very confusing, but there's a reason I draw them. Gold highly respects channels. And you can see, except for right here, let me fix that a little bit. You can see it broke through the channel here for a little bit, literally not even probably an hour, and bounced right back. Maybe that was to run stops, who knows? But if you would have even just put a buy at the bottom of this channel, it would have been a great buy. You can see over like, it's your 38.2 level of the entire range. Where's that? What is that fib that I drew this off of? Let's see. Yeah, I think this is a fib off the entire range of gold going back. I think this is on a monthly chart. Going back to these previous lows back in 2015. So that's your first 38.2 pullback point. That is a huge area. So again, fibs are showing how they work extremely well as level areas that markets like to tag, like tag, okay, bounce. And you can see how it just tag multiple times. Imagine setting a bid down here and getting filled on that. That's amazing. Like boom, filled, and then 100-point move. You just wake up to profits. That's kind of cool. Right now we tag 61.8, pull back. This RSI looks like a mess. I can't do much with this, unfortunately. And as I've said, you know, RSI, I'm not as big of a fan as I used to be of it. I'm still looking for something that can replace it. Haven't found it yet, but it's just not what it used to be honest. Here's your little bit of divergence on MACD, bullish divergence a little bit. You can see how this one is higher, even though price went lower. Stochastic is breaking down. I don't like that. I'm getting conflicting signals all over the place. It's just ranging. I haven't been trading it because it's just not worth it. There's too much confusion in the market. I think I could go to a 4-hour and maybe we can decipher a little bit. You can see it's bouncing on stochastic. But again, look, if I draw this trend line, we're just tagging to the top of it, right? Like that. There's no breakout. You can see we came up to 50% and then rolled back over. But I don't want to trade in this environment. I will wait till it kind of starts trending again. This like ranging thing, it's just chop city. It's made to take your money. If you can use fibs, you can buy low, sell high, buy low. But it's not as easy as it looks. It really isn't. So I would be careful. generally I prefer to wait till these markets start trending. And this is just trying to figure itself out right now. It seems like it doesn't know what it wants to do. All right, that's all I've got on gold. I wish I had something better to say. Yeah, if there's a tag like that, Colleen, you have to set your buy at least. But this kind of trade, if it came down there, I would think your target would be right here at the highs. If you're kind of trading the range, you would buy here and sell at the top of the range, which is basically right here at the 61.8 level, 1820. And you can see what would have been tagged within a month, about 5, 10. Yeah, it's about a month. I mean, right here is the fill, and then you got tagged on September 3rd. So about a month, filled and then tag. And half the range is right here within these 3 days. So you went 1680 fill, and before you knew it, you're at 1780 4 days later, 100-point move. That's more than half the move. And then 1780 to 1830. And yeah, you say your temporary effort up here. That's what I would do. And stop loss probably down below here, somewhere down below all these lows. I would look to the left and then go below this lowest low. So somewhere down at 1650, just in case they wick it below these lows. But I don't think they would go below this one. So I'd go a little bit below that. Would you wait for the tag to set your target? Well, you can set your target beforehand. I'm expecting a bounce. And then okay, my target is up here at the top of the range. I'm trading the range, right? The bottom of the range is 38.2 from that massive fib. And the top of the range for me is 61.8 from this fib that I drew. Does that kind of make sense? You can set a limit order, and then you can set your stop loss and your take profit when you set the limit order. Yeah. So that's why you got to set it beforehand. And I'm guilty of not doing it either. My best trades are always limit buys and sells, by the way. Anytime I do a market, normally it's emotional, stupid shit, and I just try not to do it now. Okay. Let's see. Let's look at TaiBot just for fun. 32.7. Okay. Exchange rate is not as good as it used to be. But we still got this uptrend line intact, or downtrend line in terms of TaiBot. We'll see. We'll see if maybe, I mean, we kind of hit my target up here, but at least we haven't broken down totally. Kind of put in a bit of an M a little bit, but not completely. So that's TaiBot. Interesting. Okay. Let's go to crypto. Look at total. We're going to look at total market cap first. And then I think we'll look at Bitcoin. And then maybe I'll show you this cool chart that I have here. This is a Farmer Dave chart that I just want to show quickly. That helps to see like what is taking off. And it changes depending on the time frame you use and stuff like that. So let's start with total. Okay, here's your total. All right. Here is your huge pullback. Maybe let's go to the weekly chart. The chart to start. Ignore this line. We'll talk about it when we get to the sorry, we'll talk about this line when we get down to the daily. For now, the weekly is what I want to talk about. You can see MACD on the weekly went bullish on this next rebound. Looks good. This is kind of your initial move. Here's your breakdown, but you can see after the breakdown, we continued higher. We moved up a good amount, 50% or so. Here's your breakdown, right, like this. And this breakout on the weekly was a big deal. Stochastic RSI going bullish, MACD being bullish, and this breakout on the RSI being bullish. This was all a very big deal that this happened. But ironically, as soon as this happened, the market didn't move much, and it even ran stops all the way back to the initial breakout point right here. So anyone that was waiting on like a weekly chart to get long probably may have gotten stopped out in the past few days. That's also why funding skyrocketed. When you see leverage funding rates at like 0.1% when they should be at 0.01%, that should be like a giant red flag. Now the problem is that that can happen and then for 2 weeks they'll stay at 0.1% crazy level before it finally does the dump. It's just in those 2 weeks you got to set really tight stops and be super careful, because otherwise you're gonna get run over when it eventually does the 20 to 30% dump. Yep. Okay. So here, you see, there's no way to draw an RSI trend line on this. You can see it just broke out, right? And then like, here's your buy point kind of up here, confirmed by everything. This was the easy rally here, just easy. And then finally dump, major dump. And the only way I could draw an RSI is like this. You can see we broke down and we closed below this level. Okay. Now there's not much more I can get from this chart other than, okay, we came down, went through the 50-day moving average and then bounced back. And now we're on this third day and it looks like it's trying to rally. Let's go to lower time frames and see what we can find out. See breakdown, MACD stochastic look red. Just kind of playing in these trend lines. Let's go to the 4 hour. Oh, what just happened on my screen? Hopefully you guys can still see everything. Yeah, that was weird. You can see even on the 4 hour, this RSI breakdown would have been like this, and it didn't even give you a chance to really get out. Here's the initial breakdown, and your confirmation would have been on the second candle. So once you got this confirmed, I mean, it happened right away. This would have been a tough. This is tough. Even if you were paying attention on like a 4 hour time frame, you still would have gotten steamrolled here. We went from full bull to literally bear in a couple hours. And you can see it's recovering. It's trying to bounce back. Stochastic is starting to go positive. MACD is already green and confirmed. Let's go to the 1 hour. I think the 1 hour shows it best. 1 hour, you had major breakout here. This is kind of this would be your long right here. Right here would have been the long based on RSI, stochastic, everything. So long taken from here, you would have set your stop loss something like this. If you took your long right here, I would have set my stop loss right here, right below the 78.6 level, right down here, maybe a little bit lower. Okay, and then I'm not sure what my target would be. I have to draw some chaos levels on a lower time frame to see. It's kind of hard to see on here. I'd have to go to like a 15-minute, which I hate doing. But even if just at this level, your risk reward was 3.5. That's not bad. Now what I think is we could go to the top of this trend line up here. This is that major trend line that acted as extreme support this whole way up, and now it should act as resistance. That's the 1 hour. I mean, as long as this is just up, I don't see why it can't continue higher. Let's go back to the daily. But the daily concerns me. Daily is still a bit bearish. We broke down from this trend line. I don't like what I saw here. And let's throw some fibs like this. And we just tagged 61.8 from this entire move. So we also have to be careful because we tagged essentially the start of the short zone. And if this plays out the way like RSIs normally play out, you'll touch the underside after the breakdown, and then you'll do something like this. Like maybe we'll touch it and then we'll even go through for a bit and then we'll come back down and then we'll roll over. That's really possible, and we can roll over down to this level here. This is the 61.8 of the entire range. We could go down to 1.6. It's definitely possible, and something you have to be careful about. I'm kind of surprised this rally as much as it has. I thought that this 1 hour move was just like a slow, pause move, and the RSI was just going up because it is showing some underlying buying, but actually it's selling before the next leg down. So I'm kind of surprised that it's moving higher here. That's the total. Maybe let's look at Bitcoin. See an 8 came in on a weekly, right, for Bitcoin. And we also have our RSI, which I talked about a bunch. Let me see here. Damn, this mouse that I'm using to try, this mouse doesn't really have a click noise. You can see we came and tagged it, right? Perfectly tagged and then rejected. Stochastic still bullish. And we had an 8 come in on Tom DeMark, and we hit that 4.669 chaos level. It was right in that chaos level. Now we blasted through it the first time, but the second time we tagged it and then reversed. Daily. Here's your breakdown on the daily. And you can see it struggling to recover. I mean, we've only been in this like $1,000 range. It's not even a big range, it's a tiny range. And the daily's not, I mean, MACD does not look good here. This is not good. And RSI looks like it just kind of doesn't know where to go. This is a tough trading range. You can see even how this dump went below, it went to the lows of August 7th. So an entire month just like erased. Anyone that got in the last month just erased. That means all of up here, probably here, this spike up was distribution before this dump. They distributed up here, got people really excited, and then distributed and dumped. And now it looks like they're trying to rally again. But we do have this, right here. Even though I'm not, again, I'm not a fan of using RSI in this like 1 hour time frame. I'm just not. But there is a little resistance there. But stochastic looks good. MACD looks good. We have our chaos level and resistance up here. You know, I don't see why. Here's your triangle like this. Right, there's your breakout. Like that. And there's your breakout, right? Just like straight breakthrough, no retest, just straight up. It looks bullish. As much as I don't want it to be bullish, because I actually wanted things to go lower. I always want cheaper prices. It looks bullish to me. I mean, I can even look at the 15. 15 is a mess. There's no reason to really look at this, in my opinion. Sorry. Oh. You can see we're in my little trend channel. This is my heuristic trend channel. Whenever it's in this channel, it tells me, okay, we're ranging. Be very careful. The minute we break out on the upside and confirm on a daily chart, I can start hunting longs again. The minute we break down on this side, I can start hunting shorts. But right now, it's kind of a no-man zone. And you can range trade it. I mean, you can go to a 15-minute chart and you can draw some fibs and buy it at the top of the range, sell at the bottom. I don't recommend it. It's very difficult. It's much easier to find where the bull market is, buy, and then hold for higher levels, rather than trying to figure out what direction the market ultimately is going to decide on. So something to keep in mind. You can see this massive divergence on MACD. Okay, even though price made a slightly higher high, MACD did not at all. That's a little bit of a warning sign and plays to my like bearish case that I'm making to a degree. What else do I want to talk about? Let's see. That's Bitcoin. Oh, so Solana, FTT, FTM, those went crazy this week. And you can see how much they took off compared to others. Like this is all the major level 1 names, layer 1, which is like layer 1 DeFi, the ones that are like kind of the super highway for all the projects underneath. So for example, layer 1 is Ethereum for Uniswap and all the projects under that. You need Ethereum to transact. BNB is for Binance Smart Chain Network. Atom is for, I forget the name of the network. FTM is for Phantom Network. So that's something to keep in mind. Atom is for Cosmo. Atom is Cosmo or for Cosmo. Yeah. There's others. So just something to keep in mind. This is a really cool chart and shows you like, okay, all the way back here, FTM started breaking out from the pack. So you got a signal back on August 30th that FTM was starting to go very bullish. Let's see what happened on August 30th. Oh, that's a weekly chart. Let's go to a daily. So right here, you would have gotten in around 80 cents, and now it's $1.80. That was your signal just from that one little chart. Now, if you use the daily chart breakout like this, obviously you would have gotten it somewhere around here, this area, for the eventual move. And then you had a breakdown, and now we're moving again. You know, we're super oversold, which explains the pullback. But I was just showing like when looking at this chart would have gotten you in. Same thing with Sol. Sol would have gotten you in back on August 30th to August 29th. Sol. August 29th is here, about $100, and it's doubled since then. So it's kind of cool in my opinion. Last one. What about this? This is Sol FTM. This one's a bit odd. IOTA, which kind of took off and then slumped. Now I've got Algo, and what else is trying to break out here? It looks like Algo and eGold. eGold might be trying to break out. Algo was the big one recently, but I'm too late. You'd have to check this every day. Otherwise, you're you show up late to the party. Oh my god. Well, finance. Yeah, so you can see it kind of took off recently. There's no way to. It's hard to keep up with this kind of move. The alert for it was right here. This is kind of your confirmed September 8th, like the beginning of the day, September 8th right here. And that would be right around probably this level here. So you would have gotten long here, and now we're all the way up here. Not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, sorry. Oh. Actually, I'm not going to show that. It's a funny like meme coin that somebody on Terra made called Mew. If you guys want to look it up, you can. Mew token on Terra. Just be careful. It's just their first meme thing. I don't know what's going to happen. It's been out for a couple days. I got it at like 5 cents. Last I checked, it was like 16 cents or something. I only put I put like 0.025% of my portfolio in it. So just something fun that I did. What else? What else I want to talk to you guys about? Let's look at Solana and see what it's doing. Here's a daily chart. Daily chart's just full steam ahead. I mean, shorting this is kind of insane right now. Like that's just, you need to see a breakdown. I need to see a breakdown before I can get too gung-ho about shorting this. I mean, look at this thing. Holy crap. This was your last buy point basically right before this lift off here. And now it's kind of doubled since then. 4 hours, not decipherable, but if we go to the 1 hour, see how we had this like uptrend line, and now we had this downtrend line like this. And now we are breaking through the uptrend line, and it looks like it wants to dump lower. So if that happens, Solana could easily dump down to like 170. And it's looking, if Bitcoin goes down, I think Solana will get pulled down, and we will quickly go to the 160 area. I don't like this spot for buying. I would suggest being very careful. You don't want to buy something that's moved this far this fast. What other crypto game names do you guys want to talk about? Yeah. Game ideas. I do actually. Wait a second. Let me pull up my phone because I talked to my friend about this recently, and he had a couple games that he suggested that he liked that I looked into, and I'm going to. Okay, so one is a IGO platform called Oxbull. Let's take a look at Oxbull. And again, as a disclaimer, with all of these, be very careful because they're DeFi new products, and you never know if it's going to be a rug pull or whatnot. Oxbull, is it even on TradingView? Okay, that is not Oxbull. Let's see here, hold on. Oxbull. Okay, so here's oxbull.tech. Changing the future of blockchains. Buy Oxbull, buy OXS. I don't even know what that is. Blockchain project incubator. Yeah, so it's an incubator for projects, has a couple investors. Space Cowboy. They launched OXB and Space Cowboy. So I think it's on Binance Smart Chain. Launched yield farming space farm in 3 days, limited edition NFT series. Burnt every first organic YouTube review, 8 days into launch, 1,400 Twitter followers. It's still pretty new. So they have pools. They already have DeFi pools. You just have to connect your wallet, which I'm not going to do. Tier 1, Tier 2 qualification. I like the website. I think it's a clean design. Let's look at the price chart. Maybe they have it on KuCoin. I'm not a big fan of using Binance Smart Chain just because there's so many rug pull tokens, but this is like a low market cap one. Most stuff like took off a long time ago, like some things like Cetify and stuff. Yeah, Oxbull. Okay, so actually they're not. So you can see this actually kind of took off too already. Here it is on KuCoin. Kind of already took off. I see price. We've got 1.5 million in the liquidity pool. August 16th price was $1.50, and now it's all the way up here at $4. So I can't really recommend it. It's taken off a bit too much. I want to see it pull back, down to this area, but it's definitely interesting. They've launched 2 projects so far. Website looks decent. Something I'm keeping an eye on, but it looks like it might be topping out, and we could get a pullback. Maybe if Bitcoin would stop going up and maybe dump more, maybe we would get dumps on names like this and then entries. Adam mentions OHMUSD. Okay, what is that? OHMUSD. Also not in TradingView. Okay, so let's Olympus. Okay, what Adam, what does Olympus do? Why don't you type up a little bit about Olympus, and then and in the meantime I'll look at Audio and Ray. Because if it's not listed on TradingView and major like centralized exchanges, we need to know some more information rather than only the price chart. Oh, you're hitting a 4 or an 8 and 9 on audio on the 4 hour. Oh, I don't like seeing that. Yeah, MACD red. Everything looks kind of red. Let's see. Oh. Let's look here. We did come down and tag 61.8. This was a major support area. And we bounced off that major support area, 61.8. And no, but I don't like that this MACD on the daily is still negative and stochastic is still negative. Tough one for me. Good look. It's in a decent location, but I don't like what I'm seeing with RSI and stochastic on the daily. I need to see something a little bit better. You do have divergence in the MACD, but not on the RSI. RSI made new lows. I would be careful with this one. It could go either way. Ray. Okay, Ray. This looks like it already took off. What are you guys giving me? You got to give me names that haven't taken off already. Like this already kind of mooned, right? Why would we? Man, looks like this is scary to me. It looks like it broke down and then it reversed, and now we're just testing the underside, which is now resistance. So we ran stops, and what if we reverse and just roll over? Really, with these, it just depends on what Bitcoin and the total market cap do. So far, Bitcoin looks strong from what I can see. On the 1 hour, super strong. So as long as this continues higher, I don't see why things like Ray and stuff like that can't move higher. The one thing I wanted to show you guys, if you go to like a 15-minute chart, is Bitcoin just came into like kind of a short zone, which is 78.6 and 88.6 area. That's the top, right? Let's reverse this. Yeah. And it came into this 88.6 area, and you can see how price paused in that area. And now we're slightly above it. And this, if I was taking a trade, I would short here at 88.6 and then put my stop loss a little bit. Let me fix that. Put my stop loss a little bit above the high. You see how it tagged it and then reversed? Still possibility of reversal. Look at this big divergence in MACD. RSI starting to form one. I just think this is risky, like I said before about Bitcoin. So be careful with these other names. They can kind of just fall over. DAI. Okay, let's check. DAI. Olympus DAI. But Adam, can you tell us a little bit about this? What is this? So there's kind of your breakout, right? It looks good from a bullish perspective. I mean, I like this daily breakout above my VIP line, and I would put a target, conservative target right here, 600, 590. Right now we're at 378. I would have preferred to take the trade down here, but let's say you took the trade like right now. What kind of risk reward would you get? I don't recommend this at all. I'm just looking. I would go below these lows right down here. Maybe a little bit lower. So your risk reward is like 2.5. Not terrible, but not the best. I prefer like 3 to 1 or higher. Is it non-peg stablecoin that attempts to be less volatile than the crypto while not being pegged to any fiat? Non-peg stablecoin. Okay, but okay, interesting. Okay, that's Olympus. Did you guys ask for anything else? Yeah, there's a couple of different algorithmic stablecoins. I mean, UST, the big Terra Luna one. Siorn always talks about Luna and Terra. That is massive algorithmic stablecoin. And I think they were celebrating over there the other day because when the dump happened, the last dump messed up Terra's algorithm for the stablecoin and people got scared. But this dump, nothing happened. So everybody was super happy that the whole system worked the way it should. 7,700% APY. Yeah, that's crazy. That's amazing. I always worry about rug pulls with those type of platforms. Let's look at PVIX. Is that a stock? Oh, it's some kind of coin. What does PVIX do? Daily chart. So that's kind of the daily chart for me. If anything, I draw it like this, but we'll do it this way. Maybe we do it like that. It looks like it's struggling up here. It's got some potential M's coming in. So risky chart. This can go either way. This all, like I said, this depends on total market cap and Bitcoin. If those can break out and head higher, if Bitcoin can break back above 50K and head higher, like if we can head back up here at least to 50,000. I don't see any reason why something like PVIX can't just take off. But for right now, considering the market environment, I would be very careful with this. If you it's in your plan to take a trade here, you can just make sure to set your stop, lower down here, 60 cents or something, and be okay with the potential that you might lose 30% because it's at 90 cents right now. This is kind of risky to me, considering Bitcoin and total market cap and stuff like that. So I would just say be careful. Serum also took off. Interesting there. I don't really have much to say on it though. I don't even know why it took off. Does anyone know why? Was there a good reason for why the crypto market dumped yesterday? Because I couldn't find any reasons posted anywhere other than, oh, they were trying to teach El Salvador a lesson for adopting Bitcoin. Was that announced the same time or that was announced later? But was it, yeah, same day, but was it before the dump? Or like exactly the same time? I think it was after, right? That was later. Yeah, Andrew also posted that it was later. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was later, and maybe someone just knew. Someone always knows. I'm sure major players have insiders in all of those different organizations or news organizations, and they found out beforehand. Let me look it up. Coinbase SEC investigation. 21 hours ago. 21 hours ago, 2 days ago. There's one that said 24 hours ago. So a bunch of them say like 1 full day ago. Let's look at Bitcoin here quickly. Yeah, this definitely, I mean, this dump happened, this is 2 days back going here, right? But this happened 2.5 days ago. We're already almost September 9th. So this was about 2 to 2.5 days ago. Meanwhile, most of these articles about the S&C and Coinbase are only a day old. So I think it came out after. Interesting. Someone must have known, and I think that's the real reason for this dump. So interesting. Plus, the market's over leveraged. I mean, any kind of excuse to dump it, the market makers will take advantage of, just to clear out and liquidate everyone. That's what happened here. It's just massive liquidation and funding rates. Funding rates went from 0.1% to now 0.01%, which is what needs to happen. It's just clearing out of the system. Anything else to say? I mean, this doesn't look, this, again, be careful with crypto this week. It looks like it's going to go bull again based on this 1 hour chart, but it could just as easily be a fake out and we could reverse to the downside and dump. So really, really be careful. I'm neutral with my positioning to slightly bearish for now. But if we see a break above or up to 4,900 and a hold there, that would be a bullish move for me. And then I'll start hunting longs again and say like, okay, the bull's back on, blah, blah, blah. But for right now, you got to be careful. If you want to trade the range, you can. Just, again, be very careful and have a range trading plan. Otherwise, you're also going to get burned. All right, that's all I've got. Chris, do you have your mic on? I feel like I'm hearing someone. Did you want to say something? DAO versus USDT. I don't even, what is DAO? What is that? DAO Maker. I don't even use that. On OKX and KuCoin. It's not even on Binance. Okay, let's look on KuCoin, I guess. What does this thing do? Daily. Okay, so big breakdown, just like the rest of the market. And we can do a trend line here. You know, this trend line. See, these trend lines are so powerful. See how price tags them? Here's your uptrend line. It's kind of your channel. I mean, you had a breakdown in the daily. Here was your daily kind of uptrend. Breakdown. Maybe we retest it and roll over. But it's the same. It's the same thing where if Bitcoin breaks down, the rest of the market's going to break down, and this is going to get pulled with it. So be very careful. Now, if Bitcoin can rally, this will rally with it. And it's kind of why I kind of just focus on the bigger coins at this point. I have some stuff I'm looking at, like Oxbow, and a couple. I will have more next show. I've just, because of the school this week and our marketing and all this stuff, I haven't had time to look at new gaming platforms, but I definitely want to, and I will talk to you guys about that when I have some more time. But my big message here is please be careful this week. And remember that the entire market is interconnected to the performance of Bitcoin. Most of the time, not every single time, but majority of the time, what Bitcoin does will affect the rest of the market. So yeah, that's about all I've got to say. I think we'll wrap it up. It's 12:15, so we're about, I think we started at 11:05. We're about 10 minutes over. As always, you guys have a great weekend. Try to take a look at your life, see how organized or disorganized it is. Does it affect your trading? It probably does more than you think. Consider making some positive changes. Get that journal. You know, it always helps to list out what you're going to do every day. Maybe add in exercise and eat some vegetables. Okay. So, because being healthy affects how your brain works, which affects your trading. That's my big thing. Everyone try to do a little exercise and get moving. And otherwise just be safe. Don't take any extremely risky trades this weekend. Be careful because who knows what can happen. We could just zoom up or we could dump. There's different scenarios. All right, that's all I've got. Again, have a great weekend and I will see you guys next week. All right. Bye, everybody.